Chapter 5. Enchanté. Greetings, Enchanté, the strange man said, tipping his hat toward Jamal, a tip of the hat from Dr. Facilier. He grinned, exposing all his teeth, but it looked predatory. Jamal stared at the necklace around the man's neck. It had 2 white fangs hanging from it. Everything about him sent chills down Jamal's spine. "Little man, what's wrong?" Dr. Facilier said. "Cat got your tongue?" Jamal knew it wasn't polite to ignore him. However, not talking to strangers, especially in scary back alleys, was the #1 rule his parents had instilled in him. Also, the strange man gave him the creeps. There was really no other way to explain it. He felt like things were literally creeping all over his skin and making all the hair stand up. Not to mention the skull necklace on his neck continued to flare with light, even under his shirt, like a warning. It also felt hotter, like it was searing his skin. Jamal started to back away. Suddenly, he wanted to be anywhere but standing in that deserted alley. The man's eyes narrowed, still fixed on him. "Going so fast, little man?" Dr. Facilier said with a frown. "Don't be afraid. I just want to talk. Were I a betting man, and I'm not, I stay away from games of chance. I'd wager I'm in the company of a very important person." "Important? Who? Me?" Jamal said in surprise. He had never been called important before. The necklace continued to flare with light, but he ignored it. "That's VIP for short," the man added with a chuckle. He stuck out his hand. "You're Jamal, aren't you?" "Wait, how do you know my name?" Jamal asked, wide-eyed. "I know many things," Dr. Facilier said, resting his hands on his crystal-topped cane, "including that you have something that belongs to me. A necklace. And I want it back." Jamal stammered. Necklace? What necklace?" Don't waste my time, little man," he said coolly. He held out his hand. His long fingers looked skeletal. They reached toward Jamal's neck. "Your grandmother's necklace, please." "Wait, how do you know it's my grandmother's?" Jamal said. He closed his fingers around the skull necklace under his shirt. It flared brighter and hotter. "Didn't you hear me? I already told you. I know many things," Dr. Facilier said with a sigh. "But she gave it to me," Jamal said. "Right. And now I'd like you to give it to me." "It's quite simple, really," the man said. "Besides, what does a kid like you want with a necklace like that?" "It's not that I want it," Jamal said. "My mom would kill me if I gave it away. She said this was my grandmother's special necklace. She never took it off until she died." "A real pity," Dr. Facilier said, but something about his expression said he didn't really feel that way. "But she's passed on to the other side now. She wouldn't care if you give it to me." Jamal released his grip on the necklace. "I'm sorry. I can't help you." "Fine. Have it your way," Dr. Facilier shrugged. "I mean, she gives your twin brother a trumpet, but all you get is that necklace? How did that make you feel?" He smiled broadly, exposing all his teeth again. "You could tell me about it. Your grandmother gave your brother a better gift, didn't she?" "But that's impossible," Jamal said in shock. "You can't possibly know that." "I told you," the man said. "I know many, many things. It's not very fair, now is it?" "Yeah, it stinks," Jamal said, unable to help himself. He tasted envy like bitter medicine on his tongue. Malik always gets all the attention, and I get, well, it's almost like... Jamal knew he shouldn't be talking to this stranger, especially in a dark, isolated alley. But he couldn't help it. A compassionate look crossed the man's face. "Like you're invisible?" Dr. Facilier said, arching his eyebrow and leaning forward on his cane. Or more like you're standing in your brother's shadow. Am I right? He leered at Jamal from under his top hat. Suddenly, his shadow seemed to stretch out over Jamal and envelope him in darkness. How was that possible? It was like it had a mind of its own. Jamal felt a surge of self-pity. Yeah, it's like Malik is standing in the light, and I'm stuck in his shadow. That's a terrible situation, Dr. Facilier nodded sympathetically. Just awful. But maybe I can help you out of your bind. I'm a doctor of sorts. What kind of doctor? Jamal said, taking in his top hat, purple suit, and crystal-topped cane. I've never seen a doctor that looks like, well, you. Dr. Facilier grinned. A special one. And I have a bargain for you. One you'll find hard to resist. A bargain? Jamal said. What kind of bargain? What if I could fix your little invisibility problem? Dr. Facilier said, twirling his cane. What if I could help you step out of the shadows and stand in the light for once? Wait, you could do that? Jamal said. But how? Let's just say I know things, the man said. Special things, powerful things, magical things. That's why they call me the Shadow Man. Hope welled in Jamal's chest. He had heard rumors about the Shadow Man and his special powers. The hope overpowered his initial trepidation. Maybe I don't have to stay in the shadows, he thought. Maybe Dr. Facilier can fix things. But then his necklace flared with red light, snapping him out of his trance. It burned his chest. He remembered his parents warning him not to talk to strangers. Look, I want to help you, Jamal said, backing away down the alley. But I need to get home for dinner soon, or my parents will be worried about me. Don't disrespect me, little man, Dr. Facilier said, suddenly sounding far less polite. Don't derogate or deride. My time is highly valuable. Besides, you clearly need my help. No, I don't, Jamal protested. I'm fine, I swear, and don't lie to me either, Dr. Facilier said, snapping his cane at Jamal. What about those big old bullies chasing you down the alley? The ones who pick on you in gym class? How do you know everything about me? Jamal said, his stomach clenching at the memory. And why do you care so much about what's wrong with my life? Dr. Facilier leaned forward and narrowed his eyes. All your life you've been pushed around, haven't you? Jamal flinched. Dr. Facilier was right. Even worse, he had to face Colton at school the next day. That meant bad things were in store for him. Dr. Facilier reached into the pocket of his purple suit and produced a business card. He walked over and handed it to Jamal. It had a skull wearing a top hat on the front. Dr. Facilier, tarot readings, charms, potions, dreams made real. As Jamal scanned the back of the card, his skull necklace flared brighter and hotter than ever, like it was warning him to run away. But still he lingered in the alley. He felt torn. The card was tempting. Maybe the strange man could actually help him. Dreams made real? Jamal read, then looked up at the man. What does that mean? Dr. Facilier grinned and pointed toward a narrow purple door in the dark alley. A chill ran through Jamal again. Had the door been there the whole time? He didn't remember seeing it before. It led into the shop with the creepy dolls, the one he had seen from the bus the day before. They had stared out from the front window. Their eyes had seemed to lock onto him, though that was impossible. They weren't alive. They're just dolls. Jamal shifted his gaze to the sign over the door. It was shaped like a top hat with a skull and crossbones. The same as Dr. Facilier's hat, it read, Dr. Facilier's Voodoo Emporium. 3 skulls sat under the sign. Dr. Facilier tipped his cane at the skulls. Suddenly, they lit up with flames. Jamal's eyes widened in fear. How'd you do that? He stammered. Step inside my shop, little man, Dr. Facilier said, and I'll show you.